All right, everyone. Let's see. I want to make sure that we're completely live. There we go. We are. Yes, this one worked. We fixed the tech problem. So happy. Okay. We're super excited to have Jennifer Quinn, also known by her fans, followers, and friends as JennyQ. Jenny is a podcaster, a digital marketing expert, a live streaming pro, and a champion of her life story. She helps companies be seen with compelling video-driven content. Now she's using those talents to help individuals be seen with resources to transform their life. And, I can't even remember how we ran across you, Jenny, but when we met Jenny and we're like, you know what? It was early on in Deodra and I's formation of Encore Empire. We're like, we need to get good at live video because we understood the power of the connection. This whole summit, we're talking about relationship building and all that. And we wanted to be able to do that in a way that made us look professional and allowed us to have the confidence to be ourselves and just have fun with it. And so we're like, JennyQ's our girl, and boy, was she. So we're super happy to have had her in our life to mentor us through our process. And then we're thrilled that you are here, Jenny, to share your wisdom with everybody.
Well, I'm super excited to be here. I actually remember how we got connected. It was through Facebook recommended your group to me. And and then somehow we got connected and I was like, oh, cool. Then we met and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love these two. And so here we are.
That's right. That is so killer.
All right. So Jenny.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Deodra.
All right. That's fine. So let's start off with talking about some basic things that a business owner needs to know in order to create video.
Yes. Okay. Definitely. I want to kind of set the stage a little bit. And before we get into the basic things that we're going to talk about with tech and all that, the reason it even matters is because, like you said, Carmen, at the beginning, this is about building relationships. And it's with live streaming and with video, we have an unprecedented opportunity to connect with people. Instead of one-to-one, we can now do one-to-many. And it's powerful to leverage that. And so what I like to do is say, let's get rid of all the distractions, right, from our video broadcast so people can see who we are. Because the goal is to, with all things being equal, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And so how can you build those things faster? I want to start with a fun story. When I was living in Boise, Idaho, and I've been live streaming now for 6 years. I started on Periscope. In fact, 6 years ago today, it popped up in my memory. I was in New York City at the first ever Periscope Summit, meeting people from all over the world that I would have never had an opportunity to meet if it wasn't for live streaming. And many of those people are still my friends. And from a business standpoint, we refer business to each other. So the relationships you can build with live streaming are powerful. So picture this, I'm in Boise, Idaho, and I'm live streaming and I'm doing my thing. And then, a few years later, I go to an event. It's a fundraiser. It's a gala. We're all dressed up and everything. And someone that I had gotten to know on Facebook saw me, and I swear it was like a scene, a slow motion movie or something, because she was running, and here we are dressed up, we're in our, fancy schmancy clothes, and she's running across the room. She saw me and she's running across the room, and she comes up to me and she gives me a big hug, and she said, I feel like I know you. You must be doing something right. And this was actually the first time we had met in person. And so can you imagine if your ideal client, before they sent the email or picked up the phone to call you, they felt like they knew you already. They knew the problems that you solved, and they know who you are. And I know when I get even a referral, let's say I post somewhere on Facebook and I'm like, hey, I want, this actually happened. I need a sports chiropractor and a sports massage therapist. And the thread was just like, boom, 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 this person, this person, this person. So I check everyone out. Guess who the one is that I chose? The one that had video on her digital assets. Okay. So we want to increase the know, like, and trust factor. The quickest way to increase trust is to show up the way that people expect you. So what I choose to do for my ideal client and how they expect me to show up is going to look very, very different than a personal trainer. It's going to look very different than a nutrition coach. Very different for, a doctor or even a CPA. How do I, as whoever I am as a professional, how do I want to present myself to show up the way people expect me? So with that foundation, we can dive into some of the most important things to think about. So background is very important. You don't want it to be distracting. You want it to be pleasant. You want to make sure that there are things that subconsciously demonstrate your professionalism, whatever that looks like. So I have a client who's a CPA. Yes, we want some certificates on the back, right? But we also want something kind of pleasant. We want to feel like we're in her office connecting with her one-to-one, right? So something that demonstrates your expertise, your authority, your credibility, whatever that is for you. And then I'm going to talk about the 4 important elements in addition to the background for like tech. And it's good. It's so easy. You guys, this is the good news and the bad news. The good news is it's easy. The bad news is I'm taking away all of your excuses right now. Okay. So giddy up, get a pen ready. So I use the acronym LABS, and Carmen and Deirdre, when we were working together, I shared these with you. And the LABS stands for lighting, audio, video, and S was where a lot of people kind of don't nail it, and it's stability. So let's go over those quickly. Lighting is about the easiest one to do, especially if you're live streaming during the day, because all you have to do is position yourself in front of a window with the daylight coming in on you, turn off your overhead lights, and just simply adjust the amount of light coming in on your face so that you aren't washed out, right? And you can just see that. You just hold your camera up, you just turn your camera on, and you just test it. It's so simple. I know so many people, big name YouTubers and live streamers, who built their entire audience with daylight and window. So you don't have to buy anything. If you do want to buy something, you can get a ring light or 3-point box lighting for super cheap now. It's so cheap right now on Amazon. Okay, so labs, we have lighting. Okay, audio. Again, you have no excuses, because if you have a recent model mobile phone, we're going to cover audio and video right now, because mobile device is better than most laptops, even the Mac. The camera, the audio is so clear. Now, here's what you want to think about with the audio. If you have background noise, make sure you're using something else for audio. AirPods work great. You can get a Bluetooth lav mic for pretty inexpensively now. But really, for the most part, if you're just in your office or your home, you've already paid attention to your background, you've paid attention to the lighting, just use your mobile device. And now we'll go to the S, because let me just make sure I underscore this with the video. The cameras are unbelievable. They're prepared. You're golden for video and live streaming. So, okay, see how I'm knocking out all your excuses? Now, stability. So far, you don't have to spend any money if you have a mobile phone. You're good. You're ready to go. Stability. Now, what do I mean by stability? I mean, no shaking phones. It's like Mommy Dearest, no more wire hangers. I'm like, no more shaking phones, no more shaking cameras, unless it's on your brand, unless it's your brand to be kind of like, edgy. And the person that comes to mind is Gary Vaynerchuk. Right, Gary V, right? I mean, he can pretty much do whatever he wants because that's how he built his brand. But as a professional, people need to know, like, and trust you. You want to build trust. And so stability, again, you don't have to buy anything. You can prop. If you're using a webcam, you're golden. If you have a mobile device, you can buy like $20 for a tripod selfie stick. Or you can just get creative, use books, use boxes, prop your phone up in front of you. And the trick is you want the lens of the camera to be just above your eye level. And this takes a little bit of practice, but it's easy to do. And when you are creating your video content, make sure you're looking into the lens of the camera. And I'm going to show you why. This entire time, even though I've got the two lovely ladies on screen with me, and I would love to look at them, because looking at them would make me feel connected to them. But I've been looking into the lens of the camera so that you feel connected to me. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like if I'm looking at Carmen. Now I'm looking at Carmen right now, and I'm looking at Deirdre now, and I'm just looking around. I'm looking at myself, right? And that's what a lot of people do when they're on solo. They look at themselves, because that's normal. Because when we look in the mirror, we look at ourselves. But don't do it. I'm guessing you felt the disconnect when I looked away from the lens of the camera. And so, Deirdre, I hope that answers your questions about the basics: lighting, audio, video, stability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's great. And Jenny's right, because I just learned to do the book method. So I've got my phone propped up on books, and it absolutely works.
Awesome. Awesome.
So another thing that you taught us that really helped us, well, several things, but can you talk about the importance of the background? And you kind of mentioned it when you talked about the CPA versus, like, when we look at your background, like, I want to come sit in that chair back there, and like, it looks like cozy time, you know, it'd be fun to have a cup of tea and chat with you. I mean, it's welcoming, you know, so can you talk to us about the importance of background?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can tell you, I've been traveling a lot this summer, and I've been booking Airbnbs, and, you know, everybody's got their criteria for the Airbnbs. But for me, because I was working as I was traveling, I had, but like, you know, they put pictures in the Airbnb listing. And so for me, I had to be able to know that I had a good background, that I could do my video Zoom calls with my clients, or my live streaming, or my video creation. And it had to be consistent with my personal brand. And that's how important backgrounds are. I mean, can you imagine booking an Airbnb for 2 weeks, and one of your criteria, like, I've got a long list. I've got no pets, swimming pool, you know, this, that. And by the way, it has to be the perfect setup for a background. So when I get into the location, I just move things around so that I can do what I need to do for work, right? Did I just take another excuse away from you guys who say you can't create video? You just have to think a little bit ahead. So a little bit ahead. So the secret to knowing the background is test it. So set something up, take a picture of yourself in front of it, and go ahead and send it to your friends. You know what, Carmen and Deirdre, I bet you'd be open to people in your Facebook group posting pictures saying, I'm thinking about this background for my video. What do you think? Does it speak to you? Does it demonstrate a trust and authority, you know, as a personal trainer, what have you? And just ask people for feedback. And other people will notice things that you don't notice. And believe me, it happens to all of us. So get feedback, get information, something that you totally love and it means so much to you, you want to have in the background. And then what you might get is somebody say, that's very distracting. I can't pay attention to you because I keep looking at that, trying to figure it out. Ooh, I want to share this with you. I was actually doing a podcast interview with a man who has written several books on human behavior and persuasion. His name's Dave Lacani. And he said that for him, even when he hops on a Zoom call, if somebody has like right now, I feel like my hair, like you don't have to be obsessive. I do obsess about my bangs, but that's a different story. But like he said, even a necklace that you can't see all of it, it can cause a loop in your brain that you have to close. Now, for your background that you're familiar with, you're not going to know what that is because you already have those pieces, you know, in your brain, what it looks like. So you don't want to cause open loops for people that they can't focus on what you're saying.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Awesome.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Thanks for all those tips. Those are, I hope you guys are taking notes, because this stuff is like, it's just like spot on. So, and it's, and it really is simple. Like, it's stuff that you may not think about. And what Jenny said is correct. That's what we have our group on Facebook for, the Empire of Unstoppable Women. We are there to help you. We're there for you guys to help each other. So absolutely, feel free to post your background if you have questions. You could even do a video clip, like just do a test one and say, can I get feedback? How's my audio? How's my lighting look? You can do all of that.
I love that. So good.
So another question, Jenny, is which is better, video or live streaming? Like uploading a video or live streaming. Is there a difference?
There is definitely a difference. And the answer is, it depends. So let me just go through a few highlights of each and when you might want to use them. So video is powerful for creating content that is very important that you get it right? Where there's no room for error, for whatever, because you can edit it. It's so easy. Like, you can just go crazy recording a video, and then either you personally can edit it, or you can send it off to an editor and say, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, and make it seamless. That's great. There are lots of platforms that do better with video. Obviously, YouTube's made for video and you can SEO it. Not that that's exclusive of only recorded video. You can do that with live video on YouTube as well. But like LinkedIn Live, yeah, that's right, has been very, what's the word? Like, they just haven't let everybody in who applies. And so for that, you can create video for that and upload it. The bonus, or the positive part of video is you have more control over the content because you're not live and you can edit it. Now, the flip side of that is live streaming. And this is what made me fall in love with live streaming. And when I say fall in love, I'm not saying it lightly. I became addicted to live streaming because of this one reason. And that is, it's about connection. It's about connecting to others. And when I was addicted, it wasn't just that I was addicted to creating it. I was addicted to watching it. I wanted to hear what people were saying. I wanted to, put a comment on someone's live stream and have them give me a shout out. I mean, everybody wants to be seen and heard and validated. What more powerful way can you do that, again, from one to many, than live streaming? And so that responding to comments is a skill that you can learn. And it just takes practice. That's all it takes. So if somebody's brand new starting out to live streaming, what I tell them when I'm coaching them is, I want you to practice going live. And this time, don't pay attention to the comments because it will throw you off. Just focus on your content. And know this, it's not going to be perfect. And why is that important for your business? Because people get to see how you react in real time. They know that it's not edited. They know that when something goes wrong, they're seeing who you really are in that moment. And then it builds a greater connection. You're being vulnerable and it shows. They know it. Like, they're like, whoa, they're going live. Let's see what happens. And I kind of say it's not a matter of if something's going to go wrong when you're live streaming, it's when it goes wrong, and how will you show up and show people who you who you truly are. Like, we can all be polished in a video that's edited, and I'm not knocking recorded video. I do it, but I'm saying with live streaming, you have an opportunity to build that know, like, and trust factor even faster. And so, as you're learning, don't even respond to the comments. But when you are ready to respond to the comments, then go ahead and give yourself a break to go back and respond to comments. One of the biggest mistakes, well, can I go there? Can I talk about some of the biggest mistakes brand new live streamers do?
Please do. Yes.
One of them is this is the biggest one, is when they hit the live button, they wait for viewers to show up. You've all seen it, right? And you're like, first of all, if I'm there watching it live, my thoughts are, am I not important enough? Second, if I'm watching the replay, I'm not going to take the time to wait for you to start your content. I want to see what you promised me you're going to share in your description. So come on, let's get to it, right? Also, the replay, as a replay viewer, I'm not going to fast forward. I'm just not going to do it. I'm too busy. I've got time. I don't think most people do it. But also, most of your views from a live stream will come from the replay. So better to start your live stream as if you're talking to the replay viewers. Now, you wouldn't say, hi, replay watchers. You wouldn't say that, but you just jump right into your content. Then the other place that people make a mistake, brand new live streamers, is they think they have to respond to every comment the second it comes up. And you don't. You can invite comments. And then if you've structured your content, simple rule of thumb on that is you have an intro, 3 bullet points, and an outro. Okay, you already know what you're going to say. Don't use a script, just have your bullets because you're the expert. You know what you're talking about. So you start your intro, you share your first bullet, and then you take a break and you respond to some comments. Then you go to your second bullet and then you respond to your comments. And then your third bullet, right? Whatever is the right flow. If you don't have live viewers and you don't have comments, that's okay. Just keep going with your content because you're creating your replay for the replay viewers. Does that help?
Definitely helps.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. And so I actually have a couple more questions.
Okay.
One that I thought of when we're talking about all the tech setup.
Yeah.
Do you have tips though for, the thing we hear the most is people are afraid. It's the fear thing. Do you have any tips for that? Because that seems to be the biggest barrier. Like you removed the barriers, right? When you said you have no excuses now because you're giving everyone the setup, and that does help with confidence. But what about that fear? Like some people are really scared.
People are scared, and with good reason. It's quite frankly one of the most unnatural things to do is to hop on a live video and look in the camera and talk to people that you have no idea who they are and what they're doing, right? So it reminds me of a story back when I was 14. So do you guys know the musical Sound of Music?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember the 16-year-old Liesel? I am 16 going on 17.
Yeah.
Right? I had that part. And this was the first time I was in a production where there was a live orchestra. So we had practiced for months without any live music. And I knew my lines, I knew my cues, I knew the dance steps, I knew everything. But then the orchestra was there. And the guy who was playing opposite me, Rolf, he and I missed all our dance cues. The only cue we landed was the kiss. That's pretty embarrassing. Like, oh, we know we're supposed to kiss right now, right? So I was mortified on the other side of that. I was mortified. So I spoke to a fellow actor who had much more experience than I did. And I told her what happened. I was like, I was so nervous. I was so scared. I couldn't remember anything. I was just so afraid of doing it wrong. And she said, okay. So the fear came from you're focusing on yourself. Mm-hmm. You're focusing on what people will think of you. If you flip that and focus on sharing your gift with people and what you can give to them, the fear goes away. And that became very apparent when I started live streaming. The fear was there when I thought, what are people thinking about me? What if I do it wrong? What if I say this? But the moment I flipped it to, who can I serve today? Who can I help? What value can I add today that could possibly impact someone's life in a positive way? And that shifts the fear better than anything possible. And from a business standpoint, if you are so clear on who you serve, I'm sure you guys talk to your clients about this. Who's your avatar? Who's your ideal client? Who is the person that you want to come through your virtual door that you can help? if you're talking specifically to that person and you know you can help, the fear goes away. And you're not thinking about the people who don't resonate with it because it's not for them. It's for that one person that you want to serve and add value to.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And it does, it feels good when you want to share your thing, your gift, you know, you get excited and you want to help people understand it. So that makes a lot of sense. My last question for you today, and if anyone else has any, we'll definitely let you know. But
Okay.
What is the best platform to live stream on? Is there one that's better than the other? Does it matter? Is it just being consistent? What's the rule on that?
Yeah, wow, that's a good one. It's a big one. And the best quick answer I can give you is don't try to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
So once you've dialed in your avatar or your ideal client, then do the research. Where are they hanging out? Okay, that's one thing to consider. Another thing to consider is, where do you already have an audience? Okay.
Yeah.
What I would really encourage people to do is, even when you get those answers, don't start and practice in front of your audience and in front of your prospective clients. Go ahead and do practice things. Deirdre, you already said they can go live in the group. Why not practice there? Why not ask for feedback there? Do it in a safe place so that when you do show up in front of your ideal clients or your existing audience, you're doing it with confidence and you know what you're doing, and you mitigate a lot of the chances of it just going wrong for things that are easy to learn if you take the time to learn them.
Yeah. That makes
So I guess to wrap up the question, there's no right or wrong platform to go live on. And my big thing is have fun with what you're doing. So if there's a platform that lights you up, then learn that one platform and have a blast doing it, because it's that energy of having fun that will come across the camera more than anything we've talked about today.
Yes, that's so good. And I hope everyone's noticing the thread that's flowing from presentation to presentation, because RJ mentioned doing what feels the best to you, right? So we're doing a lot when you're being an entrepreneur and you're putting yourself out there. It can either drain you or it can rev you up. And when you do the things that you love in the places that you love, it revs you up. So that's what you need to identify. It's like, you don't have to do all the things, just the things that resonate with you. And so really it's a great learning experience. Entrepreneurship is just the best, I think.
I agree. And you know what? I know RJ, but I didn't see her presentation earlier. So
yeah, it was the one before. So you'll be able to see it. Yeah, you'll be able to see it. I'll send you the link.
Cool.
And so for everyone, I want to remind everyone during each of these presentations, in case people don't watch them all. So if you're watching them all and I sound like a broken record, I apologize, but I want to remind anyone who's watching this, who hasn't seen another one before, that you can dive deeper into video marketing mastery with Jenny through her video marketing mastermind class that she's going to give. And that is part of the VIP pass, right? And so the VIP pass is $77 today and tomorrow, and then it goes up to $147, and it's a total value of over $3,000. So even if you took advantage of just one of these presentations offers in that pass, you would make your money back, no problem. But I want to remind people, because we believe it's very valuable. We want people to take action on what they're learning, and that's why we're dropping this in each presentation. And if you don't want to pay the money and you want to get more value and get into Jenny's world, she has also provided a professional's guide to the video playbook for free. And you can get that. The link is below in the comments here, and it's at JennyQ.com/video-playbook. So you can find it there. And then the only question that we had was one that you actually answered, because we asked about it. It was the fear. Kathy said, how do you overcome the fear of shooting video or going live on Facebook? And you talked about that. So that was awesome.
Good. Well, I hope it was helpful.
Oh, totally.
I have one thing that I want to talk here just a little bit more about in that fear thing and what Jenny said about practicing, in somebody else's audience. We, in our Facebook group, we have Spotlight Saturday. It happens every Saturday. And we did it because of Jenny. I mean, like, because we worked with her, we knew how important this is. It really is critical when you are an online business and you are, meeting people on social media. It is a total game changer. And so that Spotlight Saturday, it's there to not only, expose you to everybody in the group and let other people get to know you, but it is also a safe space for you to practice. Because trust me, there's no judgment at all. And you can do it every single Saturday, just go live. And there's very few Facebook groups out there that allow. I mean, if you look at the rules, almost everyone says no going live in the group. But we're there because we want you to master these skills. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to get over the fear. And the more you do it, you have to just do it. And you got to do it a few times. And then that fear begins to ebb. You focus on who you're talking to, and you just kind of have to get used to the whole thing of looking into that little tiny camera on your phone or on your computer. But once you do it a few times, then it becomes much more natural.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's so good. Gosh, I was going to say something and it went out of my head. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I'm sorry. The fear thing and doing it, you just do have to do it. And then the difference between live and recorded, when you were talking about how you can do pre-recorded and do whatever you want to it, but you can also get totally obsessed with that. I found that pre-recording used to be something that stopped me from posting the videos, because then I would keep rewatching it or keep re-recording it, and I wouldn't like any of the takes. So I'd say, forget it. But once you start going live, you just go with the flow, and pretty soon you're just comfortable being you on camera. So I'm a fan of live too.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. It's way too easy to obsess. Once you go live, here's the deal. You go live, you do your best. You watch it back, you're going to cringe, but you know what else is going to happen? This is consistent. If you're kind to yourself and you ask yourself these two questions, what went well and what could go better next time? You're going to come up with answers to those two questions instead of only looking at the negative part. And for me, what I learned about myself through live streaming is I liked about 80% of what I saw. Like, that's huge, right? And then there was about 20% that I'm like, I want to fix that. I want to correct that. I want to improve that. And, and no matter what happens on your live stream, at the end of it, you look down, there's no blood. Everybody's fine. You move on.
Yeah.
All good.
That's such a good point. Yes. Yeah, no, I think it's great. And it takes practice, and you get better. And then pretty soon you don't care anymore. And you get past how does my voice sound? And how do I look? And oh my gosh. And people connect with you. And once people start connecting, then that takes that fear away. And you start going, oh, this is fun, because look, people are asking me questions. They're emailing me back or whatever. So it's totally great. So we love it.
Love it.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions, but we encourage everyone to drop your questions under the videos, and we will make sure that they get to each speaker so that your question could get answered. So if you drop it under the YouTube video, we will answer it there. If you drop it inside the VIP portal where there's a spot there as well, we will answer it there. So don't leave without getting your questions answered. That's the big point. All right. Then we've got our last presentation for today. Sarah is coming up in just about 25 minutes. So we will see you guys there. And Jenny, do you have any last words for everybody? We had so much fun talking with you today.
You know what? Just get started. Don't stop. That's as easy as it is. And Carmen and Deirdre, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. It's been just an absolute delight to get to know you and to watch your journey. And I'm just excited for where you're going, because I know you're helping hundreds and hundreds of business owners. So thousands by next year, this time, I'm sure. So awesome.
Thank you so much. Well, and I have to say, we had tech glitches. Some of you noticed the tech glitches the last two presentation, the last three, we weren't able to get them to go in the right spot. And then when it came to be JennyQ's time, the tech gods were like, oh no, we're not going to mess this one up. And it's been resolved.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly what it is. I'm so powerful that happened.
it's the power of JennyQ. That's why we have her in our life.
Oh goodness. All right. I'll Venmo your money later. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Bye everyone. See you in a little bit at Sarah's presentation. Bye-bye. Bye, Jenny.
Thank you. Bye-bye.